Good Sunday morning to you and welcome to Capitol View this morning. Glad to have you here. It's the first for Capitol View. We have half of Arkansas's delegation to the U.S. House right here in the studio. We want to welcome in 2nd District Congressman French Hill and 4th District Congressman Bruce Westerman. Gentlemen, thanks very much for joining us this morning.
Great to be with you.
I know you guys have been very busy, and you guys have done a few joint interviews together. It's kind of like Hope and Crosby, the road show.
Yeah, we're in the 2nd District today, and we've done some events over in the 4th District. So this is my one to pay back for the 2 that you've been in the 4th District.
That's right. As long as you don't ask us to sing, we're great.
Yeah,
perfect. Maybe a little soft shoe a little bit later. But first 100 days in Congress that happened this week. How things been going? You guys are making quite a transition because back here at home, you guys are both successful in your own right. Then you get to D.C. and now you guys are the new kids on the block. Have to more or less follow direction and try to figure things out. Congressman Hill, how have things been working out?
Well, I first of all feel welcome and honored to represent the 2nd District and serve with our outstanding delegation. That's number one. Secondly, I've been delighted with the welcome that I've gotten in the Congress and love my work on the Financial Services Committee, where it takes my 3 decades of business experience and puts it straight to work for the American people.
Congressman Westerman?
Yeah.
Been an easy 100 days?
It hasn't been too bad, Bob, and I'll reiterate some of the things that Congressman Hill said about the great delegation that we serve with in D.C. And, you know, we are freshmen, but I think expectations, at least on my part, were such that I realized I was a freshman. We know that it's a long game that we're in, and that, you know, I'm already seeing progress, and I think we're getting settled in, and I'm excited about the future.
And I'm sure everyone heads that way with certain expectations. What do you guys find is working? What's broken? What can be fixed, what can't? You know, we always hear about gridlock. I mean, has that been as tough as it actually seems to be? Because a lot of American people and folks here in Arkansas just think Congress can't get anything done.
Well, I think Congress for, you know, a couple hundred years plus has been successful when there's a consensus in the country. The House of Representatives is a rambunctious place, and it's fully reflective of the American citizen, the American voter. So where we have consensus, we've made forward, and where we've made progress. And I've seen us do that in this Medicaid set of reforms this year that we passed on a bipartisan basis. We've passed a balanced budget in the House, and we're going to have an opportunity to work with the Senate now on some spending reforms. So I think it's always got that constructive tension that I've talked about before in government. But I've come away seeing a lot of good people working hard to do right.
Yeah, I would agree with that, too. We've bills that have been passed out of the House. We saw the Keystone Pipeline go through the House and the Senate. Unfortunately, the President vetoed that one. But I think there is bipartisan support on a lot more issues in the House than there's not support. And, you know, every time we pass a bill, it's not just, you know, the 240-plus Republicans voting against it and the Democrats are voting for it and the Democrats voting against it. There's always some bipartisan support on the bills, and you know, I've met a lot of Democratic colleagues that I would consider friends, and I think they want what's best for the country as well. But we just have to keep working hard and working towards the goal.
I'd add one thing, which is that it's a lesson to all of us that leadership from the White House, from 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue, is essential to getting things done in Congress. It's not a one side of the shop pulls all these good ideas together and sends them to the president. And President Obama has been reluctant on many times to show that kind of leadership to work together with the Congress. And so where there has been disagreement, a lot of it's emanated due to him not stepping up and leading.
Kind of tying that in, this week we got a bipartisan deal in the Senate on the Iranian nuclear talks. Does that ease any concerns for you guys in the region, heightened concerns? And I know you're also on the Anti-Terrorism, I guess, Finance Committee, so this is something naturally you're watching. But how do you guys feel about that in the region? Has this stalled their ability to get nuclear weapons, or has this opened the door for the region for other countries to move in that direction?
Well, I believe the negotiations are, you know, they're still ongoing. We've got to monitor this situation closely because there is a real threat there. You know, one of the highlights to me of being in Congress so far was when Prime Minister Netanyahu came to the House and addressed us about the concerns in the Middle East, particularly with Israel. He made it very clear about, you know, in World War II there were 6 million Jews that lost their lives, but there were 6 million people that died not just in the Holocaust with the Jews, but through World War II. And there's an imminent threat, not just to Israel, but to the rest of the world if this aggression continues toward Israel.
I'm skeptical about the negotiations. They are, as Bruce says, ongoing until June 30th. But the President's now acknowledged something very important, which is that Congress will have a role in reviewing this potential arrangement and approving it, and I'm pleased with that. But I'm skeptical about the terms of the agreement. Will it end and meet President Obama's own objective of ending Iran's ability to have a nuclear weapon? And it does not address their delivery systems. And just this week, in the middle of these negotiations, Russia has approved a deal on sending missile technology to Iran. And yet Russia is a part of the powers talks with the Iranians. So it is a very tense time now. The water is muddy. Right. I'm like Bruce. I want to watch and see what happens over the next 60 days or so.
Whenever this country gets itself in a position where it's called upon or finds it's got to fight its way out of a situation, we call them the servicemen and women. They do a fantastic service to this country. Every one of them should be commended. When they leave the military, then they may find that they need some continued medical help. They wind up heading to the VA. You've called the VA here in Arkansas into question for some accountability issues. Making any movement on that?
Well, I wrote Secretary McDonald last week demanding to have the facts around this failed solar panel installation here at the McClellan Hospital in Little Rock. And Senator Bozeman and I have now written the IG, the Inspector General of the Veterans Administration, asking for a full investigation on it, not only in Little Rock, but to see if there are ramifications that go nationwide, because there's some 90 of these solar power installations at VA facilities across the country.
So some more
work to do. Hope to have answers in the coming days.
All right.
We'll keep you posted.
Gentlemen, sit tight. We're going to take a quick break. You have a Capitol View this Sunday morning.